Alright, what's up YouTube? Angus the Cat 316 under the Heartbreak Cat channel. Doing a first ever tutorial. Wrestling animation tutorial. And I've been reading through your comments on the previous video on what you kind of want to see for a tutorial. I've gotten some, mixed responses, and it seems like a lot of the beginners are just, having trouble with string work in general. I've gotten several personal messages about that. So I thought basically what I'll do is start off with the basics, like running and jumping. What I'm going to be animating right now is Undertaker's famous dive over the ropes, which should, help beginners with, running and, sort of the how to hold the string for. I know a lot of you want me to do more complex moves, like, your flips and your moves like, shoulder moves like GTS, attitude adjustment, stuff like that. I'll get to that eventually. I just, like I said, I thought I would start off with the basics. Alright, so basically, you need your string. Can't really see it, and that's kind of the point. It's invisible string. I forgot the name of the particular, brand, or whatever, but yeah, it's basically just go to like a hobby store if you need string and just, but like, it really depends on like what background you have. If you have like a black background, then you probably just should just use black string, because then it's like a heck of a lot easier to edit. You usually don't even have to edit. But I don't have a black background, so yeah, I'm using this string. Alright, so basically, oh, and by the way, for beginners and stuff, make sure that you keep your string in a good place and you don't lose it, because that could be quite bad, especially, okay, whatever, but yeah. So we start off, we don't need the string yet, but we start off with Undertaker standing right over here. Take a picture. And I'm not really going to get into taunts. Most people really already know how to do that. Alright, so sort of getting ready for it to start running and stuff. Alright. The best advice if you're really having trouble with a move is to just sort of look it over. Sort of just like watch a YouTube clip or something of it, and sort of see exactly how they do it, and then sort of try to mimic their every movement even. And just, yeah, it's hard to explain, but it really adds to realism if you pay attention to like little details, like how someone jumps and like, their how their legs are positioned and how their arms are positioned and stuff. So yeah. Now we're sort of getting to the point where Undertaker is about, ready to start running. And basically, to get the string around the figure like that, sorry about the flash if that annoys you, I just prefer animating with flash. Get the string around the figure. There's two ways you can do it for like basic running and jumping. One, you put the figure like this, and then you put it through the string, and then put it above the waist, and then lift the figure up so he's leaning forward slightly. Or you can do it the opposite way, where he's on his back and then you lean up, and then he's not leaning forward slightly. So it depends like what you're about to be doing, If you're about to be doing like a running dive or something, you might want to start off, like that, so he's leaning forward a little bit. Anyway, yeah. I'd like to mention, by the way, that deluxe figures are harder to run with, like when it comes to animating, than Ruthless Aggression. I think Ruthless Aggression are much easier to run with. Basically at this point, I would turn the camera a little bit and sort of have a nicer angle. Oh, and make sure if you got other people in the picture to move them, you know? Don't make them like just lifeless as there's only one person, as one person's moving, you know? Yeah, you gotta add that second string. And just put the second string around the feet. And you might want to move the first string up, too. Move the first string around the neck, instead of having it around the torso. That way you can get better shots in. So yeah. And then make sure to, for your fingers, so it's hard to show how I'm holding this, but basically one's around my thumb and one's around my finger right now. Make sure one string is higher than the other, so then basically as he's jumping you're just going to be moving, you know, the way your fingers are placed, so then it looks, you know, see how his legs are coming up like that. When you're taking the pictures, you got to keep that in mind while moving the joints, you know what I mean? So it all ends up really nice and smooth. That's what she said. But basically put around, like, make sure like the string is like on both of them. And I'm actually holding this string with my teeth right now just because I need to grab the other one. And then you put the other string around Undertaker's leg. Like that. So yeah, this animation definitely is not one of my favorites. Yeah, right now I just need to take the string off both of them because I probably won't really need them for the rest of this animation. So you take your finishing shots, you know, just sort of had those little movements, and, you know, Kane hurt his back a little bit on that one, so just sort of have him like, oh geez, my back, you know. Well, Undertaker's just, you know, exhausted laying down here. Like, oh geez, that hurt. I just dove on him onto some chairs, ow. So yeah, Paul Bearer is, you know, like, oh my god, Kane! That's gotta be Kane. That's how you do Undertaker's dive. And, yeah, here's what it looks like completed.